Ma'am Beth.
Ma'am Castil.
Hello.
Ma'am Beth.
Good morning.
Morning.
I just have a clarification regarding problem number 2.
Sige,
Sir
ma'am.
Jovan is writing here, what is the profile of the teachers in the following psychosocial skills, self-efficacy, quality of work life? Shall we consider this profile, ma'am, when the teachers are just actually rating themselves na dili bura man ni og subjective, sir, no? Dili unlike ba sa profile sa babaw nga age is you
Sige,
cannot
na lang ng perceptions.
nga na siguro sa
Perceptions na lang siguro, sir.
Perception. What is the perceptions? Yeah. Okay.
respondent sa inahan, no? Nga na pare ako kuan.
Noted,
Concern.
ma'am.
Sige, sir. Okay, ma'am. Okay,
Gayon.
Babs.
Noted, ma'am.
Gayon, pwede ka ni sir nga atong ibungkag ni imong number 2. Ma'am Beth, please help, no? Kay these are variables nga bugat sa imong study, like psychosocial level sa psychosocial skills, level sa self-efficacy, no, as perceived by them,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
their quality of life. Or maybe ibuwan si job performance is not a perception.
Ibo ang job performance, dai.
Job performance is not a perception.
Sige, buwak siya.
Objective man yung job performance, sir, di ba?
Yes,
Kanang
ma'am.
the one who will rate the job performance are the teacher, are the heads, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Ibulag na siya,
ibuwag
dai.
siya. Number
Change naman
3.
ito ang kuan main term nga profile to perception. So mabulag na siya.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Dayon, kaning imuhang mga inferential questions,
Okay.
manong nalain maning number 4, sir? Unsa may nakalahi niya sa number 3?
Correlation, ma'am. Good. For number 4, for number 3, simply relationship of the following, the profile, and then in number 4, correlation, because kung bitog akong ibangga bitaw, ma'am, ang psychosocial skills, so self-efficacy and everything, murag nga naon sila babae correlate.
Multi-correlation.
Multi-correlation.
Puro raman gyapon sa relationship, sir. So, magsunod, magpuyog ra na sila. Dili ra na kailangan nga. Who is your statistician, sir?
Si Sir Kuan, sir. Si Sir Lorejo, ma'am.
Okay.
Balik lang siya.
Nag-story na mo sir sa statistics na gamiton ninyo?
Yes, ma'am. Specifically katong multiple regression kay kuan man na may tulo ka variable, na may tulo ka kuan god variables na usa ka main.
Okay, sir. But eventually, all of this are talking of relationship. So I think you need not to have it number 4, but instead have all of them in number 4 na siya. Like number 3 naman si job performance niyo.
Okay.
Ilain mas job performance. So dili siguro siya ilain, ma'am, nga 3 o 4 kay these are all talking about
4.1, 4.2, sir.
ana.
4.1, 4.2.
So included gihapon, ma'am, kay na may 4.1 ani.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, pero ang numbering nimo, sir, sunod na siya, sir. Hindi mo siya i-separate.
So na 3.4 editog 3.5 nga na, ma'am?
No, 4.1.
4 naman ka, sir.
Okay.
Imong inferential question will start with 4. So that will be 4.1 until 4.7 siguro, no? 4.7. Okay, bigyan tables for the interpretation para nako. Pero siya. Dayon. Questionnaire, sir. Where did you get your questionnaire?
Scholarly, ma'am, sa ako ning nakita sa research mo tong ako na pong gi-adapt o gi-modify.
So you are modifying.
Some.
So in your instrument, sir, katabi tong portion instrument,
Mm-mm.
kindly emphasize in there that asa may na-modified and then write asa may reference niya and then I have question like number 1, sir, on your page 68. I
Page
present
68.
additional learning content. So you mean adto ra niya gi-add sa iyahang module?
Excuse me, ma'am. What page to, ma'am? Page
68, sir.
48?
68.
68? My 68 here is certificate of consent, ma'am.
Ang ako kay self-assessment on psychological skills.
Part two.
Psychosocial skills. Kanang in questionnaire di ka mismo ni mo, sir, part 2.
Sa questionnaire. Part 2. Mo, sir.
Questionnaire part 2, yes. Yes, ma'am.
I present additional learning content. Then I provide scientific information. What do you mean by this, sir?
Taken from the questions taken from the modules, ma'am, because some of the statements in the modules or words in the modules are kanang need to be discussed by the teacher for the students nga kuan niya masabtan niya more ang kuan, ma'am, ang technicalities dito, especially sa mga science subject bitaw, ma'am.
So meaning, sir, for question number 1, item number 1, imuha ni silang gikuanan nga mag-add sila, sir? Nag-add sila aside from the module being provided?
Yes, ma'am, kay sometimes, ma'am, kay bisan og kanang even if it is given by the national, there are also contextualization happen, ma'am, in the division. That is why kanang may mga writers bitaw nga gi-hire sa kada eskwelahan, ma'am.
Pero siya, ang matabo ani niya, sir, kay sa statement ba, burag siya may nag-add og learning content. Nag-add ang maestra og learning content. Kunya mo speak na siya sa iyahang psychosocial skills, ma'am Beth. Burag naa siguro mga items ani, ma'am, sa iyahang, my point is, perhaps there is a need to review the questionnaire, ma'am, or the tool nga means
ma'am, kanang performance skills, ano yan, ma'am?
Psychosocial skills, no? I present additional learning content. Siguro gagama ang maestra og learning content, gadugang.
Performance skills, ano yan?
Lagi, ang kautanan ni sir, magdugang ang maestra og learning content.
Possible.
Kanang contextualization manggod namo, ma'am, kay mahitabo po na sa school or even in the division. So from the given from the national kuan kanang module kana sometimes
contextualize, sir.
yes. Okay, ma'am.
Maybe butangan ni og iklaro, sir. Sa contextualization di refer ni mo ani dayon. Item number 5 pud, sir. I provide scientific information. Unsa may pasabot aning scientific information, sir?
Para mga technical terms bitaw, ma'am. Especially in teaching science and TLE, mga kuan bitaw sa because lisod magud sa mga bata, ma'am, it will be done by the teacher through social media platforms or others.
Unsa man siya nga subject area di ay nga mag-answer?
All teachers ni, ma'am, mao nang naa siya scientific kay kanang mo apply man ni sa tanang subjects pod kay all teachers man ni. That is why in the kuan katong gi-appeal ang kito ang iyahang subjects handled bitaw. Number of subjects.
Ma-confuse ang teacher ani, sir, or we can make a simplified term for this.
Okay, ma'am, paning kamot atong gamaan og simplification ani, ma'am.
Dayon kaning number 5 to, sir.
Okay. Yes,
There is
ma'am.
also a term on number 10, sir, nga, I even facilitate student. Why even?
Interaction by
Isn't it
using
a role
online.
to facilitate?
This is an additional way, manggod ma'am, of the teachers to deal with the students, especially if the
Agree na
students
lang
have.
siguro ko nga word even, sir. Anyway, they're going to answer here practice or not. So
Okay, ma'am.
if
Okay,
it's
ma'am.
not,
No,
so it's not. So if it's
noted,
practice,
ma'am.
it's practice. Then like 11 to no kanang very objective. How can we say nga not so objective? Objective is objective, no? So tangtangon siguro ng mga kanang descriptions na that will somehow confuse the kanang respondent. Sir, I'm taking notes, sir, Are, para matindot ka, sir. So
Okay,
for
ma'am.
now, Ma'am Chon, that would be all. And congrats, Sir Joven.
Ma'am, thank you very much, ma'am. All your suggestions are well noted, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Now, Dr. Mihan. Ma'am Chona, I'm done, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. That is why I'm calling Dr. Mijares. Thank you,
Hello.
Dr. Fernando.
I did not hear the call of the dean. That is my
Ah.
turn.
Okay, sir.
Is it now my turn, Ma'am Chona?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning, Sir Joven, Sir Frantes.
Good morning,
And,
sir.
I'd like to congratulate for having arrived this far already in your
Hello,
journey in education. Good morning also to the advisor and to the rest of the panel members and the dean of the College of Advanced Studies. I will just go back as regards to my comment on the rationale of the study and including the literature background. I'll proceed directly to the problem. And in my copy, it's found on page 36. Are we on the same
Yes,
page?
ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Page 36, sir.
May I ask from you, just to clarify, what is really your study? The title of which is Psychosocial Skills of Efficacy and Quality of Work Life as Predictors of Teachers' Job Performance in the New Normal, right?
Yes, sir. So because I want to tell, sir, kumusta naman ang mga teachers karon sa new normal nga state? Ang ilahang murag ang ilaha bang kuan, sir, ang ilahang state pagkakaron in this pandemic. That is why I'm always asking, kumusta naman ako mga teachers o mga teachers din sa Tibok Bohol? So that is why I am integrating the psychosocial skills first, yeah, followed by self-efficacy because I want to answer that question. That is, I want to answer that through my studies, sir. That question in mind. If these variables affect their job performance as teachers. Hello,
So,
sir.
yes, the operative word in your title and perhaps also in your problem is that you would like to examine or to assess the psychosocial skills, the self-efficacy and quality of work life of the teachers and determine whether these independent variables, psychosocial skills, self-efficacy and quality of work of life, determine or act as predictor of the dependent variable, which is job performance, right?
Yes, sir.
That is why I think I am also okay with the statistical treatment that you have chosen, which is
The multiple regression.
regression analysis.
Okay.
Kay ang atong punto ani sir is that we do not simply establish based on your title and based on your problem. We do not simply establish correlation. This is not that the title itself does not only suggest simple correlation. Ang correlation mga good sir is that nisaka ang A, nahitabo pod nga hingsaka ang B, or hingsaka ang A, nahitabo nga ni naog ang B. But
Okay.
when we talk about simple correlation, it does not actually guarantee the existence of causal relationship. That means A o correlation lang A does not necessarily mean that A is the cause for any change in B. So ang imong study is you would like to establish a causal relationship kay mo predict man siya, mo predict ang psychosocial skills, self-efficacy and quality of life. Mo predict siya, meaning to say ug kung sa itong gamon ini, unsa result na to ining 3 independent variables, maapektuhan ang dependent variable which is job performance.
Yes,
Am
sir.
I correct,
Yes,
sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, sir.
Yeah, so we are not simply trying to establish simple correlation here. We are
Mhm.
actually determining a causal relationship between independent variables, the 3 that we have identified or that you have identified, and the dependent variable, which is the job performance. My question here is, nganong kinahanglan man nga ibangga-bangga ang profile and job performance, level of psychosocial skills and job performance, level of self-efficacy and job performance, the level of teachers' quality of work life and job performance? Or in other words, in number 3, is there a significant relationship in the following? And even in number 4, is there a significant correlation between the following variables? Na kani man gud siya sir, kaning 3 o 4, these are meant to establish simple correlation. But when you do regression analysis, appeal na siya sa package sa regression analysis nga mo conduct jud ka og correlation una, ay ha ka mo proceed into regression analysis. In other words, if this prevails as your problem, my point is, if this prevails as your problem and your title prevails as it is being presented here, I don't think there is a need to include sub-problems 3 and 4. In fact, if I were to restate the main problems, sir, kaning imong the study aims to assess the level of teachers professional, ug ako'y pasultion, which you may or may not adopt, moingon ra gud nga this study primarily investigates whether psychosocial skills, self-efficacy, and quality work life determine the job performance of teachers. Kaya ano man ta? Predictor man siya. So, this study primarily investigates whether psychosocial skills, self-efficacy, and quality of life, work life, determine or act as predictor to the job performance of teachers during the first school year of the implementation of modular distance learning in public schools in the Philippines. Kutob ra na, period. And then kaning number 1, og atong is og tan-awon, if I were to look at it, sir,
Okay, Mr.
kaning number 1 manggod nga demographic profile. Para nako, if this prevails as your problem and your title, dili na necessary nga atong ibangga-bangga ning profile and the data from the 3 independent variables that we will be gathering. Of course, importante ang profile, but simply to describe your population. Not necessarily nga to strengthen or to establish a correlation or significant relationship between the profile and the variables.
Okay.
So parang ako okay na lang number 1 nga moingon tag I don't know, this is just my view
Okay,
my
sir.
point,
Okay.
So this is just anyway imo man kuning study, sir, no?
Yes, sir.
Ako na nang ipahayag siya as to my understanding of the what's this of as you present your research, no?
Okay,
So
sir.
okay na ng profile kay mo describe man gyud ta. If I were to judge this, i-retain na nato na siya nya. Number 2, okay na po ning what is the profile of teachers in the following also man sa perception on psychosocial skills, self-efficacy, quality of life, work, and job performance. performance. That's the second sa problems niya. If I were to add, ang third problem na niya is, pwede, kung ako itong tanong, pwede na ko kumingog. Do the teacher's psychosocial skills, self-efficacy, and quality of work life determine the job performance of the teachers? Meaning to say, this is already a question that would warrant or require a regression analysis to determine whether factor ba ang kaning mga independent variables sa dependent variable. And subsumed within the problem is already an analysis of correlation and eventually a regression analysis. And the number 4 nga problem, pwede tayo what intervention measures could be proposed out of the findings of the study.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that is for you to judge, and of course, with the guidance of your advisor. Kaya no tanong bitaw ko nga focus ramang good. Ang title is focus ramang good siya on the 3 independent variables. Nya ang ato ra yung based on the presentation ha, ang makita ra gyud is gusto lang yung kamutan-aw whether kani bang mga independent variables maka-affect ba ni siya sa job performance, predictors ba ni siya, di ba? Am I correct?
Okay.
in-
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I have a question nga. From my end, I don't think there is a need to include problems 3 and 4 as it is being presented on page 37 of your manuscript.
Mhm.
That is just a comment for you to consider. I do not impose something because this is your work, man.
Yes, sir. We will discuss this with my advisors later.
Unya, in fact, ninangutan na ko ano mag-Spearman rank man siya ha. Na kuan man nga ngano mag simple correlation man siya nga appeal naman sa regression analysis nga mag-correlation jud ka una, mag-test jud ka correlation and then you go into regression analysis. So those are just my comments. Next is so kaning statement of the null hypothesis, sir, mo follow na po ni siya og unsay final version sa imong problem.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Kaya anyway, kaning number 2 laman daan, sir, kaning moingon tag what is the level of perception as it is being suggested by Ma'am Hernando aning psychosocial skills, self-efficacy. Taas namang kaya ni nga discussion ko siya, taas na kaya ni siya, bugat na ni siya ba nga portion. So sunod ana, mag-analyze na tag predictor ba siya. Okay, so
Yeah.
the statement of the null hypothesis would follow from what shall be the finalized version of your problems.
Okay,
Kani pong
sir.
significance of the studies, just a comment on the significance of the study. Maayo siguro, sir, nga, I am not suggesting nga maghatag jud ka og kanang you will be providing separate murabag kanang subheading. No, I'm not asking that you will have to provide a subheading, pero I think it is better na i-establish nimo kinsay mga primary beneficiaries o secondary beneficiaries sa imong study. Like
Okay.
the basic question would be kaning mo determine ko nga predictor ning turo ka variable, predictor ning tulo ka independent variable sa dependent variable. Unsa may atong mapupo ni ini? Unsa may mabenepisyo ani? Dili necessary, sir, ha, nga katong mga tagsa-tagsa nga assessment ana, because your study is about predictor man naman sa imong title.
Okay, sir.
Unsa may significance niya? Unsa may mga benepisyo niya towards the primary beneficiaries and towards the secondary beneficiaries. Although I am not suggesting that you will have subheadings na primary benefit. No. Ang ako lang is, I think that should have been established.
I will just arrange, sir, from primary to secondary, sir.
Yeah, I think there is a need to kunya. Katong as much as possible, I would like to suggest nga dili siya mga motherhood statement bitaw, sir. Like when I say motherhood statement, kana bitong general kayo nga this is the, I'm not saying nga in total maoy imong gihimo, but ang point lang ba nga in particular unsa magi-benefit ini niya, dili siya motherhood, dili general statement lang ba nga okay given man guna madawat man gina siya nga that's the consequence of that's the benefit of a research. So dapat I think it has to be established nga unsa gyud in particular ang benefit nga makuha from conducting not only an ordinary study but a study about predicting variables.
Okay, sir.
Next, uh, just a comment, school administrators, the findings will encourage the school administrators in managing job-oriented teaching personnel and socially acquainted frontliners of education. Kaning comment, sir, is true to all. What about, if it's possible to express clearly our thoughts, mayo siguro nga to express clearly kay kanang dili maka cater to or maka open up for different interpretations of unsa imong buot ipasabot. Okay, na, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Noted, sir.
Next on
Hello, sir.
Na-mute ka, Dr.
okay.
Minares.
Yes, yes. Can I be heard now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sige. Can I proceed, Sir Cervantes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ari sa design ta, sir.
Okay, okay.
You indicated here, the study will employ correlational survey design. I think ato ni clarify siya, sir, no? Kani mangong survey, sir, is a technique in data gathering. It is not a design. Dili ni siya design. Na ay mga study nga mo yung tag descriptive correlational. Unsa po pasabot og descriptive correlation? Upat ra manggod ang major nga mga research designs, descriptive design, quasi experimental design, or kanang regression, not ordinary, 4 or 5 ra siya. Wala iya mo yung survey design nga design. Survey is a technique in data gathering.
Okay, sir.
Ang kauban-uban ini niya kanang observation and so on and so forth. So siguro iklaruhon naman ni basin og kanang naiuban maingon nga descriptive correlational. Ang buti pasabot is that the study is generally a descriptive study. It describes a particular situation o kung saan nahitabo sa mga maestra, sa kondisyon sa mga and so on and so forth. Yeah, correlational tungod kay in the analysis of data mo establish siya og some kind of correlation or significant relationship between the variables nga iyang gisadihan or among the variables that it is being studied. So siguro, sir, i-improve lamang nato na, no?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
If in the design itself, I think it is no longer necessary nga mayngon tag for the data collection, validated questionnaires will be distributed. This is more on the instrument, sir. I would like to suggest, kani suggestion na gini, sir, ha?
Okay, sir.
Dili na siya for you to decide on. But still, for you to decide on, suggestion man, for the data, I think dapat ibutang na siya sa instrument. Ang mabutang sa design is kanto. Pananglitan lang, sir. You will say, this is a descriptive correlational study. Ang unod na mo designer, imo explain, ngano man yung descriptive man siya.
Okay, sir.
Ngano man siya nga correlational man siya. So ngano nga descriptive, ngano nga correlational siya. And lastly, ngano man nga kini may ahong gipili nga design as the most appropriate design for this study. Why not experimental? Why not quasi-experimental? Nganong descriptive correlation mangyud ni siya as the most appropriate design of the study?
Okay, sir.
That is granting nga imong gipili or imong gi-choose ang descriptive correlational. But if you have other designs na more appropriate other than correlational survey, sir, ha? Kay dili mandawat ang correlational survey. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Akong ginote.
And then the accessibility during the gathering is one of the immediate concerns. Kaning sa imong environment and participants, because, sir, the accessibility during the gathering of data is one of the immediate concerns in choosing the research local. Kaning immediate concern na ako, concern is, sir, perhaps mas maayo maingon sa primary consideration. The accessibility during the gathering of data is one of the primary considerations in choosing the research local. Dili siya immediate concern.
Okay, sir.
More ambiguous man siya. Okay. Kini, the study will only include I would like to suggest na let us get rid of purposively selected in the 3 congressional districts. Considerably, it is the main limitation of the study. Moreover, perhaps it is clearer if we go directly by saying this study will only include 18 national high schools with a population ranging from 25 to 60 teaching personnel.
Mm.
And then, I think it is necessary nga, imong state why. Nga naman nga, kadtura mang 25 to 60 ang imong gipili. Nga nung wa man imo
Okay.
i-appeal tong below that or kay mao man atong explanation sir. Nga nung mao man atong purpose. That's the purpose. Nga nipili tag 25 to 60 dili tong ubos sa 25 dili po tong taas sa 60.
Okay, sir.
Okay, even if we say purposive siya, pero mangutan na gyud tag usa ba purpose nga gigamit nganong kini man ang kiniraman maoy gipili niya. Unya dapat pud sa ang atong purpose is again dili siya kana bang motherhood statement lang, general statement lang. Dapat it is something that is logically and legally acceptable ba or professionally acceptable in research. And then on page 42, the study uses the total enumeration of population sampling technique in determining the sample size. Sir, mura o gasumbagay man ni sir. Total
Again?
enumeration.
Again,
The
sir,
study
page
look-
42, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I see it.
The
The study
study
use-
uses the total enumeration of population sampling technique. Actually, ang opposite sa total enumeration sir is sampling.
Hmm.
Total enumeration ganun sir, og po kabuok ato respondent. Ato ang population po kabuok, po gyud na kabuok ang atong interviewon. Og sampling ganun sir, og po ang atong population, perhaps mga 5 ra ang ato ang interviewon. So, I'd like you to improve this nga mura og kuan siya.
Sampling, sir.
Sama gyud total enumeration or the sample ka.
Hmm.
For the participants, the study will involve a total of 637 public secondary teachers coming from the 3 congressional districts. The study uses. So, unsa man gyud ni sir? Ga total enumeration ka or ga sampling ka? Unsa man yung CD, sir?
Congressional district, sir. Congressional
Perhaps it is better. Kani bitaw sa ibabaw nimo, sir? Kanang congressional district na. Human i-spell out.
Okay.
Pagkahuman na buti sa parenthesis nga CD. Kay para na i-reference mga usay bot pasabot di man ang CD. Or you can have an asterisk below your table to provide a meaning of your abbreviation ba? Dili abbreviation.
Dili ko answer ka ng acronym.
Acronym.
Hmm.
Provide a meaning kay makaingon man tayo ni campus director sa Baiso ba ni? Unsa ni?
Oh, sorry, sir.
Yes, sir. So palihog lamang ko og kanang improve ana sir. The study uses
Okay.
the total enumeration of ay so gawsa nga ni sir, sampling ka?
Sampling, sir. Kay
So,
kanang in every CD ka I only choose man kanang specific schools.
no, what I mean is ang imong respondent kaning Antequera Pananglitan, Batulinaw National High School.
Hmm. Kuan siya?
Kabok ang respondents.
39.
Gawsa man nimong pag
Kani silang tanan, sir.
total enumeration is
Oh. Kay
Total enumeration.
kaning 39 kay mao man jud ni ang kuan gi-appeal.
Kani laging 39 tanan na ni nga maestra sa Batulinaw.
Sa Batulino, yes, sir.
Total dili ni siya sampling sir. Total enumeration ang imong respondent.
Okay.
Perhaps kaning imong kuan, kaning imuhang lokal hinoon, kaning imong mga eskwelahan. Mao ni ka area sampling ka.
Yes, sir. Oh, mao na, sir.
Area ka dili man tanan ba? Tanan ba sa congressional dili man tanan
Dili,
kay
sir. Oh.
obviously kato ng 25
Six
to
ra, sir.
60. So,
Oh.
area sampling ka. Kunya ang imong area sampling dili siya random, purposive. Kung say purpose, katurang na ay 25 to 60 teaching personnel.
Purposive sa kuan. Sa
Oo.
schools ni sir, no?
Oh, sa
School
area
sampling.
sampling ka sa imong
Ah,
kuan sa
area.
imong lugar. Unya, dili siya random, kuan siya kanang purposive.
Purposive.
O nya unsa man ang purpose niya kadto lang na 25 to 60 nya. Imo gud po nang i-explain magamay og nganong 25 to 60 man ray akong gipili. There you can say nga unsa ba? Unsa may imong purpose ana na. So total enumeration ang imong respondents pero ang sa imuhang lokal mao na to
Sampling.
sampling ka. So mayo siguro na siya nga imo gina siyang ihanay nga.
Oh, specific
Klaro
din
siya.
siya sir nga ang population, total enumeration, then ang area, then ang local area sampling ang gigamit. Okay sir.
Yes.
Mm.
Kanang number 43 kanang data gathering tool sir general maguna siya nga statement pwede makamaingon ang research instrument. Ya kini bang imuhang ano ba sa 43 gapon sir every dimension contains 15 affirmative statements. Mao ba gyud ni pagka state na to ini 15 affirmative statement or test statement? Basig na ay negative statement ini sir ha? Or when I say negative statement, negatively stated ba?
So test statements ang mas nindot ano siya.
Statement na siya. There are every dimension contains 15 test statement kay mo naman i-present na to nila. And then sa lang nila studying to begin west. So ari ko sa page 46 sir.
Okay sir.
This is already on the statistical treatment. So, katong imuhang kuan profile, pwede ra to mogamit ka og kanang kuan ko sir, dali siya og measures of central tendency. Makasabot naman ng kuan na, makasabot naman ng reader ana. Kanang measures of central tendency, mo na nang kuha na ka ng percentage, makuha na ka ana og mean. Dili necessary siguro nga ibutang na siya percentage weighted mean kay ano naman siya. And then, based on my view, if you're going to adopt that, to discuss it with your advisor, kung ma-finalize to siya, kung ako'y pasulti o kato i-adapt, dili na ta magbutang o kanang Spearman rank, aning page 49, diretso na lang sa regression analysis. And in fact, you may not even indicate the formula for regression kay ano man pwede man kamo diretso sa SPSS, pwede man mo ingnon nga the data will be treated through the statistical analysis called multiple regression with the aid of SPSS for instance. Pwede naman sinana. Yang imo ganing formula kay ingon kag first independent variable, second, third, fourth, wala man goy fourth sir, tulo naman imuhang independent variables. You only have 3 independent variables.
So sorry sir. Akong gi-appeal ang kuan dependent variable. Sorry sir.
Or yeah. Ang imong dependent variable is ang katong imong kuan.
Job performance.
So okay na ni multiple regression, I think madawat na siya sa doctoral level. Kay mo establish gyud ta og causal relation than simply establishing a correlationship. Okay, as a definition of terms sir, I don't know kung sa imong orientation po sa inyong research pero ang akong orientation is that you will only define terms which are found in your title and in your main problem.
Okay.
Panalitan lang imong i-define operationally po sir. Panalitan imong i-define unsa may bot pasabot ining psychosocial skills. So mao na kani actually sa social mao ni siya na siya parts and so on and so forth. Unsa man self-efficacy, unsa man quality of work life as quality of work life, unsa man ang teacher's job performance niya, unsa man ang new normal. This I think those are the only terms that you have to define operationally. Mao man nay ato ang kanang new normal, ako man nang ipang-checkan job performance. Kanang akong individual performance commitment review sir on page 50, subsume na siya under sa job performance. So
yes,
imo i-define ang job performance, i-apply na nimo sa definition, operational definition sa imong job performance kanang individual FCR, di ba?
Okay, sir. Daghan na din kaayo. Hamo na appeal man ako ang mga kuan dimensions gud sa uban. Erison lang din ako sa
And, well, that remains also as a suggestion. You can discuss it with the advisor. But,
okay, sir.
I'll go back to ano, sir. I'll go back to your table of contents. Kana sir, kanang imong research methodology dapat itupong nimo na ng the problem kay pareho man na sila og kanang mga
Oo,
sa-
sir. Oo.
kana imong definition of terms, kana imong reference list, tupong na siya na imong
Upong,
research
oo.
methodology.
So,
Mga appendices. Okay, ano yung appendices? Ya, kana imong list of figures, kana imong number, wala na point, sir. Dili man na number 1, figure 1 man na.
kaning kuan, sir, kaning
O kana list of figures bitaw nimo. Ibaga na 1 point vertical. Wala lang point, sir, kay dili man na siya number. Figure man na siya, figure.
mura man liter A.
Ah.
So, one na dyan siya, sir.
Yeah, sir. Particular ko kayo ni sir. Kaning imuhang rational. If
Okay,
if
sir.
I were to with the indulgence of the panel, for instance, of course, with the indulgence of the panel. Particular ko niya, sir, kay mao man guni imong opening salvo.
Okay, sir.
Niya, ako'y mo basa, first impressions, last.
Mm.
So, the situation in the new normal presents numerous challenges to the global society, specifically in education sector. Question: is education sector part of the global society? Kay imo mangi-break ang imong term nga global society, ang imong specific nga breaking sa imong global society, education sector. But I don't think education sector is a part of the global society. My point being that I think you have to revise your first sentence.
Okay, sir.
Second, earlier in 2020, governments around the world have issued policies on physical distancing to flatten the pandemic curve. I think this is a bit inappropriate and inaccurate, sir. In the early 2020s, the objective was not actually to flatten the curve. Later part na ang flattening sa curve, sir.
Okay.
So I think this is a bit inappropriate. Concern pa ang mga tao ato magsira og mga borders, wala pag yung flattening of the curve. Later part ng flattening of the curve. So I think the way it is being stated, mura siya inaccurate.
Okay, sir. I will change this, sir.
In the Philippines and in many other countries, the abrupt cancellation of face-to-face classes has brought adverse circumstances in the normalcy of education and life in general. Unsa maning circumstances? Perhaps there is a need to improve ani nga term. I indicated inappropriate. And other comments. In general, sir, I hope you don't mind my comment.
Okay, sir.
Ano man siya, sir, when we talk of the rational, para nako, it is something that is very substantial because it gives the reader the complete information of what he or she is expecting in your research. So from my end as a reader, I would be expecting that the presentation in the rational is something that is very cogently presented. Kana bang convincing nganong gikandak man nila nga study. That's
Okay,
one. And next is, I think you have to improve on the transitioning of thoughts from one paragraph to the next. Kana bang naabay connecting terms, sentences, or paragraph para there is a smooth flow of understanding of what you really would like to the reader to understand from what you are presenting.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, mo to, it has to be convincing, it has to be interesting. Yeah. O ako'y pasultion for a doctoral dissertation, I think you have to add more pages on your rationale. Perhaps you can have at least 6 pages. Kana bang, let us make our work something that is scholarly. And what is the mark of a scholarly work? That you also exerted effort to scan and study and incorporate other researches that would give substance to what you are doing.
Okay, sir.
Although I have seen that in your review of related literature, that somehow you have also incorporated studies relevant to your study. Although I have to admit that I was not able to go through thoroughly in your literature background because I ran out of time.
Okay, sir.
Okay, kanang imuhang cover page, sir, nga main campus dash Tagbilaran City. Informal siya, sir. Kamahin na naman, sir. Main campus, Tagbilaran
Tagbilaran
City.
City. Okay, sir. Salamat, sir.
Dash. And then I am also in doubt anang imuhang acronym sa imong EDDEM, mao gyud siya. O mao ni siya, then fine, okay. Is it Doctor of Education, major in Educational Management, or Doctor of Education in Educational Management ra?
Murag mao man so correct mo, sir?
I don't know. So you can verify it. I think that would be all, Mr. Cervantes. I hope you don't mind the comments that I have presented.
I really thank you for all those comments, sir, and suggestions, because I know it will make my paper or study better. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Okay, Dr. Fulido, thank you very much, ma'am. I am done.
Thank you, Dr. Mijares, for your comments and suggestions. Very informative. But there are some portion there which you mentioned. Maybe you can, what is that? That is only your comments. Maybe you will apply, or what is that? Not so clear to me, because what we want, sir, for the comments, for the researcher to do, so that during the oral, the final na, then mura na siya o mura wala na kayo'y kanang question, okay na. So,
Okay.
for example, the one that you suggest, would it be nga dapat yun niya ma-follow so that ma-correct na yun siya, sir?
I think the major suggestion would be on the problem, ma'am. I suggested that problems 3 and 4 will be deleted. If I were to be asked, para na ko kuan siya. If mo remain ra nga mao ang iyang title, ang iyang problem, then I guess we have to get rid of problems 3 and 4. But I don't know, perhaps he can discuss it with the advisor. Kay main manggod siya, ma'am. Main the problem is the heart of the research. I do not find any need nga kanang i-correlate bito tong profile. Pwede ra ang profile nga gamiton siya to describe the population. But
Excuse me, Sir Mijares.
yes.
At first, sir, nakita mo gunaw, sir, nga kanang for example, age. Kanang murag naapod siya effect siguro, sir, sa psychosocial skills sa teacher kung nana siya sa kaedaron nga tigwang-tigwang na siya gamay kay sa batan-on. Murag nga na akong kuan, sir, ba?
Ang ato magong study, sir, kay kadtong psychosocial nimo as predictor manguto siya sa imong actually we do not focus, actually your study does not focus primarily on the psychosocial, the self-efficacy. Kuan to siya, dili ang focus gyud nimo is that kung mo determine og mga predictors ba gyud siya sa job performance of teachers.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Ay, malagi na Yes, Dr. Pulido.
Continue, sir. Continue. Hello, sir. Bernabe.
Yes, ma'am. Siguro, punta na nato si Ma'am Beth, ma'am.
Yes, yeah. And also, sir, maybe
Hello.
Dr.
I'm
Can
not
come back
talking.
in.
Hello, ma'am John. I'm not
Yes,
talking
ma'am.
kay naapot ari ga accreditation, ma'am ba. So pero naminaw lang ko. I am amenable with Dr. Kwan. Dr. Mihaly's suggestion. Sige, okay ra
Okay.
ba ko idea katong kuan. Sige, we will take note of that.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you,
And
ma'am.
then, one thing, Sir Bernabe, we will also discuss that with Dr. Castillo, no? Regarding the rationale, because you said it would be much better if more siya longer or more pages. But sa ila pong orientation, it would be short.
Okay.
Oo. So that is
If-
why basi ma-confuse ko siya. And then during the time when some of the panel members unya would join, like for example, Dr. Kubar, every time na siya correction, she will always make correction on the number of pages sa rationale because it should be short daw. So I think we have to talk that one, no? Kung sa gyud kay basin og maapod na siya kung sa university na to.
Bitang. Di ako na lang, og if I were to be asked again, ano lang, win-win. Bisan naman og 4 pages kay para nako mubo ra pug kaya ng 2 pages of doctoral dissertation. Don't you think so, Mr. Cervantes? Mr. Cervantes? Muted ka, sir. Muted ka.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
So,
tanawa, actually, sir ha? Actually, tanawa, sir, oh. Ang imong rationale is page 1. Ang turo gyud sir, page 1 and 2. Ug imo mangguna siyang i-single space 1 page ra mangguna, sir.
okay, okay. So, pwede ako
Oh,
lungagan lang sa...
I think para gyud nako, pagbasa nako sa imong rationale, kuan gyud siya. Affected gyud ang imong content ug ang imong clarity of presentation by the brevity, by the shortness of your presentation. Murag naapektuhan siya ba? It would be better nga murag maka-express pa ka bisan naman og mga 4 pages ug ako lagi pangutanon 6 na kay ug imo nang i-reduce into single space gud ng 6 niya kani kay ano pag yun siya kanang courier pag yun siya hilang kaayo og nangipon pa ug imo i-reduce ng 3 pages raman gud na. Kaya i-times niyo Roman na nimo ang 3 pages 2.5 ra gyud na siya. So unsa may atong ma-express sa 2.5 when you talk about 3 independent variables and you talk about of course one dependent variable. Para na kung mura siya og kanabang mini skirt, sir. Too short to be interesting and too long, too short to cover the answers and too long to be interesting.
Okay, sir. Well taken, sir.
I think sa win-win na lamang siguro bisan lamang 4, sir, kay remember og ato gyud siya hunahunahon kanang 4 pages 2 pages na in town ka na. You can afford, I think, to
Yes,
have
sir.
at least 6 or perhaps 4 kay mo lagi na, sir, ang content sa imong rational pati ang pagka-convincing ba, ang pagka-cogent sa imong argument or sa imong thesis presentation is being affected by the shortness or brevity of your rationale. Ma'am Pulido, I think that would be all, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
For the information and the knowledge you have given to our researchers. That would really help improve his study. Thank you very much. Okay, what about the advisor? Do you have something to say? Dr. Castillo?
Hello, ma'am. Gadubli-dubli. Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Naminaw ra ko, ma'am.
Do you have something to say before we will end?
Okay. Thank you so much for the suggestions and recommendations. We will huddle with Sir Cervantes to finalize, ma'am. Okay. Salamat.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. all the members of the panel, and congratulations, Mr. Cervantes.
Ma'am, thank you very much, ma'am. Kay wa na ko kulba eh. Nindot kayo ang kuan ma'am, mga comments karon murag ma-improve pa jud ni ma'am. I look forward with Ma'am Castel. Kay mao man jud ni study nga nasang dughan ma'am oy kay as a school head ma'am ba. Gusto na ko mahibawaan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Congrats, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So, at this juncture, I would like to say thank you very much to all the panelists, to my advisor, and to Ma'am Foliedo, the Dean of the CADS Department. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay, so I think we have to leave them because other researcher is waiting. We
Okay.
still have another.
Shall I end
Yes,
this one, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Welcome po. Thank you.
Thank you, and goodbye. Congratulations, Mr. Cervantes. Bye-bye.
Sir, salamat kay Sir Bernabe ha. Very, very informative jud, sir. Ako jud ang
No problem.
tumanon, sir.
Okay,
Sige,
sir.
sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.